points. So, you know, they've been a big second half team. So that's our Coors Light cold hard facts. And they are facts that the Buffaloes have been much better in the second half than they have in the first. So let's see what happens in this second half. I thought they were, you know, they were all right in the first half, but they allowed Fort Hays to kind of get back in the game a little bit. I think Tad Boyle said, look, guys, let's go out and just dominate this second half.
It was King to get things going in the first half. Here is Fortune, who's going to knock down another three, and that's got to feel good for the transfer from Providence. After going 2 games without a three, really struggling, he's knocked down 2 trays here so far. Player that Colorado's just going to really need to perform in Pac-12 play. So Fortune, he scored 10 out of Colorado's last 17 points. There is Hadley Gillum, who was a source of offense for Fort Hays State in the first half, not able to connect there. White had ideas maybe of getting to the rim. Instead, will dribble it out.
See if they set up Fortune again, or let's say they go right back inside to Gordon. Oh, that was a nice give and go.
Nice ball movement that time. Wesley Gordon with his senior partner and Xavier Johnson, who's going to go back to the free throw line.
Yeah, and I'm sure, Chris, that was stressed at halftime by Tad Boyle. Said, look, we have a big advantage. Let's hit the post. Let's not stand still when we hit the post. Let's move, and we'll get opportunity shots.
Colorado lived at the free throw line in the first half. 18 free throws for the Buffaloes. Tigers had a hard time staying out of foul trouble. That's Gillum's 3rd foul. Rob Davis was on the bench for 3 fouls for the final 9 minutes of that first half, but he's come out here in the second half to open things up. Player who averaged 24 points a game is scoreless. 1 out of 2 at the line for Xavier Johnson, and Colorado has its biggest lead of the game at 43-22.
Been a hallmark of Colorado basketball is their defense. You know, they're a man-to-man team. They're going to get after you, try to limit any type of movement to the rim. Well, that was just a good individual effort by Hadley Gillum. I mean, that was just a solid move. He's well defended.
And a miss, and a nice rebound by Gillum. We've seen him knock down some shots in this game. They want to post up Smith, and Wesley Gordon gets called for a reach-around foul on Jaquan Smith, the transfer from Stephen F. Austin. First team foul.
Well, here's Gillum, and he's going to get an opportunity here to bounce it, and well defended, and make a difficult shot under duress. So that gives Fort Hays a little bit of a lift. If they could only get Rob Davis going. You know, he's got 0. Well, there's Smith inside. That was
a nice looking hook shot.
You bet it was. Kind of like that little jump hook. So here's where they want to go. They want to go right there to XJ and see if he can post up. Like right.
Smart basketball, but that time Johnson got double teamed. Couldn't quite get that shot to drop inside the block. Kinnaman outside the jump to Rob Davis, who finally knocks one down from the outside. He's a 56% three-point shooter.
And averaging 24 a game, 0 in the first half with 3 fouls. That's got to feel great for Rob Davis just to get one down.
And again, they try to get it to Johnson, and this time denied inside, but a foul on either Smith or Gillum. It is going to be on Smith. That would have been Gillum's 4th foul, but it's number 3.
Well, here you get a great look at Rob Davis, who has unlimited range. You know, he's broken all the records in terms of threes and shooting, and there's the foul by taking it into the rim is Xavier Johnson. So that seems to be the game plan by Colorado in the second half, a little more than they did in the first half by going right at the rack and then maybe going inside the out to set up the 3.
Xavier Johnson, who has scored in double figures now 3 consecutive games. Another player that Tad Boyle was able to get from Southern California. Knocks down that free throw. And it's a 16-point Colorado lead. 3 minutes into this second half.
Well, when they had Xavier Johnson, when he was a freshman, my recollection there that Josh Scott, Spencer Dinwiddie, Andre Robertson. So that's a pretty
Askia
good.
Booker.
Yeah, Askia Booker. That's a pretty good Colorado team. That team won a lot of games, and Andre and Xavier Johnson came right in and kind of blended with that team and was very effective in his early years.
Wesley Gordon, who is now, of course, a starting big man, as Davis knocks down another three. Wesley Gordon was the backup for Andre Robertson, redshirted his freshman year. And Gordon, of course, has moved up the charts in some statistical categories for the Buffaloes, including block shots. But Davis all of a sudden has made 2 in a row now. Trying to keep up with Fortune, who sends it down to King in the corner. He wants to get inside, goes right at Jake on Smith, and again, not able to quite get it up to the rim.
I would look where Rob Davis is right now, number 11. He's made 2 threes, and I'll guarantee you,
he's looking for 3.
He's looking for 3. So, if you're Josh Fortune or, whomever switches off on him, you almost have to face guard him. Keep the ball away, force someone else to shoot the ball because he may be in rhythm right now.
He got it there. Went with a left-hand kind of runner. Missed it. Got his own rebound. Kinnaman trying to spot up a 3 from the corner. That was well short for Kyler Kinnaman, who has struggled here. Now Colorado, nice feed. White inside. Xavier Johnson might have tweaked his ankle as he comes up limping. Well, that was the perfect pass from White to his teammate inside, as Colorado making a big emphasis to get the ball inside here in the second half, as the Buffaloes still holding a nice comfortable lead at 15. The basket, I'm not sure if he stepped on the defensive player or what.
It didn't look like it. It looked like a non-contact injury, and hopefully, that's the last thing you need with the conference coming up is for Xavier Johnson to go down. Been enough guys hurt in the Pac-12. We don't need any more.
You can pretty much look up and down every team in the Pac-12, and somebody is dealing with some significant injury, with the exception of UCLA. Davis, nice feed from Brady Worth from the high post. Down low, and Davis, a couple of buckets here in the second half. There's an air ball from Delion Brown. Fort Hays State is down by just 13 points.
And they're winning this. Hello.
And they're making 10.
I can see real quick why this guy scores a lot of points. I mean, he got 3 fouls the first half, and he never got in rhythm. But the second half, all of a sudden, I mean, he's come out and shot the ball great in the second half. Rob Davis. He's an exciting player.
There's a step-back jumper by Seward, and we're going to get a loose ball foul on George King underneath. And with this possession, the Tigers can get it down to single digits here in the second half. And really, it's been fueled by Rob Davis, a couple of threes.
And it has been, and I really think if you're Coach Mark Johnson here, you're calling out a play for Rob Davis. And I know he's being guarded now by White, who's very conscious of what he's been doing. But still, they're going to run plays for him and see if they can open him up.
Well, the problem all afternoon has been the length and athleticism of the Buffaloes in forcing tough contested shots. But Gillum's been able to knock him down. He's got the ball now. He wants to drive on Gordon. Goes right to the rim. And how about that as he banks it in?
Boy, how do you like Fort Hays State? Man, I mean, they've come out of the blocks in the second half. And
totally differently than
oh, my God, it's an 8-point game.
And not for long. No, they're going to call a foul on the floor, as Wesley Gordon was held by Brady Worth. And I believe that is the third team foul committed by Fort Hays State.
Well, you love the move by Gillum, and right from the elbow makes it nice. They kind of open the floor up for him. See, I think White doesn't have field goal in the game. He's got to kind of get going here.
Well, Delion Brown,
he's made a couple,
stunts this Fort Hays State run with that three from the outside. Delion Brown, the lefty, not known for his outside shooting. He knocks one down there, and he actually knocks down his second 3 of the game. See if they try to get it back to Davis. Here is O'Neal. Shot clock winding down as it hits 10. He wants to step into a 3. A little bit short. Not that time. That's what these Tigers do. They're not afraid to take outside shots.
Well, look at Seward right there. Tried to call for the ball. Now he's stepping away, but he's down there. There he goes back in there again, but they're not looking at him. Here he comes.
Brown feeling it, and he's going to bank it in. The freshman, wise decision that time, passing up the 3, decided to drive in, and kind of an awkward angle, still got it to bank home.
Daleon Brown has been impressive. I mean, he's a lefty that can go either way, but he's had a big second half. He's had a nice game.
But Gillum able to answer back with a deep 2. Hadley Gillum, a couple of buckets. And it's back to an 11-point game. It was 17 at the half, a 17-point Colorado lead. As King catches, too strong on the 3 despite falling to the floor. It's loose underneath, and we're going to get a tie-up, and it's going to stay on this end with Colorado. But just a complete opposite start to the game. And here in the second half.
Fort Hays State started the game 1 of 15, and to my recollection, they were down 18-3. I mean, it happened in a hurry. But the second half, different story.
Here is Brown. He's got a career high, his first game ever in double figures with 10 points. Seward to Akiazili, wants to get down to the baseline. Shut off nicely by Reed. Seward has it knocked out of his hands, and it'll stay with Colorado with 15 seconds on the shot clock. A little too much one-on-one action. Colorado's got to get the ball moving a little more.
Well, I think the one guy that's going to have to take control of the game is White, who has not had a field goal, number 21. And he's being guarded by such a much smaller man. Akazili with a nice move, but couldn't finalize.
Got his own rebound. Here is Miller.
I think White's just content to give the ball up and not look for his score. I mean, usually he's a guy that's looking to score. He's not looking for it today, rather.
How about that decision? Now, Tad Boyle goes with Miller. Miller, he had that little stretch there in the first half where he had success on the post. Wise decision. They go on the block, and Miller's going to go to the free throw line.
You saw that little glimpse of Tad Boyle shaking his head. He had his finger. And I know he's thinking, let's see here, it's 53-41, and, you know, we thought at this point it'd be in cruise control.
But Fort Hays State making them work for it here in the second half.
They are. They're winning the second half. And now the Buffaloes go back to this 1-2-2 three-quarter court press.
Both free throws knocked down by Miller. Nicholson handling the point. Here is Davis. A little surprised there that he didn't look to shoot. Instead, the pass from Reed got intercepted by White. Up ahead, and we're going to get a foul as Daleon Brown slashing to the rim will go to the free throw line.
Marvelous defense that time, I thought, by White. Steals it, gets in the open court. Look at Derek White, you know, give it up to Daleon Brown. I mean, White's doing it all defensively.
It's your shot.
Right. You know what it is, Chris? When you play without the ball, good things normally happen. If you stand around, then you're in trouble because it's easy to guard you when you're standing around.
Well, it's been good things for Rob Davis in the second half. He's got 11 points, all of them coming here over the last 8 minutes and 4 seconds. Brown at the free throw line, able to knock him down. And the lead is back up to 15. It got it down to 8. Well, Colorado's been able to pick it up here offensively the last couple of trips. Is Kinnaman sprinting down the sideline. They tried the lob to Jaquan Smith, but too high despite his 6'9" frame. But Colorado gives it right back in transition. Pass ahead. Smith misses the dunk. He won't have a better look.
He had a great look. not going to get an easier one than that.
And now Miller. Well, he was inside, passes out to Brown, who continues his hot afternoon.
Dalian Brown.
A career-high 13, thanks to his third three.
Well, you wondered why Miller threw it out. That's why. No, Dalian Brown's had a big game. It seemed like when Fort Hays State was making their run, it's been Brown who has come right back at him. And here's Rob Davis. Talk about a big second half for Rob. He's their leading scorer and had 3 fouls and 0 points in the first half.
I said Brown had 13. He's got 15. Posting up Miller again. They've been running the offense through him. Spins, turn around, and he got it to drop. Nice little turnaround hook shot that time by Torrey Miller. He had to miss some action with that sprained ankle that he suffered against Texas. Just another option offensively for Tad Boyle.
You know, Chris, it's been a confidence boost for Dalian Brown and Torrey Miller, this is the kind of game that you need to build confidence, especially from players, you know, young players who normally don't get a ton of minutes. So here's the pass from Torrey Miller. Now, he had it right on inside, but decided to give it to Dalian Brown, who had a great look at it and delivered, attacking again in the out.
Freshman off the bench having one of his better scoring games, his best scoring game. Xavier Johnson is back in, so whatever that ankle injury was a couple of minutes ago, certainly not a serious issue for Colorado. Again, they're going to post up Miller. Tried a big power dribble inside and lost the handle. Ran right into the teeth of the defense. Davis trying another three, and that is his 5th second half tray.
You know what was unusual about that? Nobody introduced himself to Rob Smith. He dribbled all the way down and had actually a pretty darn good look at it without anyone flying to him.
Well, if you're scoring 24 a game, you know how to fill it up.
And shooting 56% from three-point range. You know, think about that. Think about it. So here he comes. See, I mean, he's just flowing in the open court right there. And all of a sudden, he's gathering in rhythm. He's saying, you know, I'm going to make this one.
Well, Rob Davis, if he was taller, we talked about height with Derek White. If Rob Davis was taller, he'd probably be getting some D1 offers. But a little heat check that time, hand in the face from Peters. And so how about that from Tad Boyle? Peters might be Colorado's best defensive player. He's earned his way onto the floor more and more throughout the season. He had a career-high 21 minutes against BYU. So Tad Boyle goes with his best defensive player now on Rob Davis.
When I think Bryce Peters, you know, that what I've seen him play, I mean, he's a very active guy and a good defender, and I think will get major minutes, especially next year. But as the year goes on, they may need him. There's no doubt about it. Aka Ezeli with a good look inside, and of course this is where Xavier Johnson can excel. He doesn't have to go away from not in this game. All he's got to do is post up and use his athleticism inside to get shots up and in.
So Johnson to the free throw line. He's got 13 points, 4th consecutive game now in double digits.
He's really coming off an outstanding game in Provo in the loss to BYU. I thought he in the second half almost brought Colorado back to win that game. I mean, he was a focal point, no doubt about it.
Well, the problem with Colorado in that game was offensive execution, which is something that Tad Boyle certainly wants to improve on before going into Pac-12 play. Davis passes up the three, gets to the baseline, finds his spot, and knocks it down. Fun to watch Rob Davis here in the second half.
I can tell you this. I know Rob Davis is playing Division II basketball, but this young man here, I think he could play about anywhere if he wanted to.
I bet there's some schools that wish that they had Rob Davis.
This guy's a pretty good player.
Still a 15-point Colorado lead. Gordon did not want it inside. Now he does. Has a major height advantage, and we're going to get a foul as a couple of defensive players collapse on Gordon, which will send him to the free throw line. Peyton Stevens and Drew Kite.
Yeah, I thought that was very unselfish that time of Peters to throw the ball back in. Here's Rob Davis. You can see why they set all kinds of screens. He can bounce it. You know, he's got a great feel for the game. And one of the real great, outstanding scorers in Division II basketball. He's put up huge numbers. And he's got a beautiful rotation on the ball. He's had really a sensational second half.
Well, he's coming off of back-to-back 30-point games, and he's scored more points than anybody in Division II. And now he's going to get a breather with 8:35 before the under-8 media timeout. Colorado's lead that got shrunk down to 8 has swelled back up to 17. How about Peters? Pounding the ball defensively, making it very hard for the Tigers to initiate offense as Nicholson trying to spot up a three. No. Offensive rebound, and we're going to get a foul on Wesley Gordon as Peyton Stevens draws contact, and we'll head to the line for two.
Well, Peyton Stevens is a hard worker. There's no question about that, and did a good job to offensive rebound the ball and smartly tried to initiate a little bit of contact and got the call.
Stevens, a redshirt freshman from McPherson, Kansas. A lot of players from Kansas.
A lot of Kansas guys.
A lot of Kansas kids. Fort Hays State, right dead smack in the center of the state. Due east of Denver. And they bust over. And they said 5 hours, no big deal.
No big deal.
5 hours is not a big deal. There's conference games.
It's like minor league baseball. You're right.
I know all about that.
Hey, let's get in the bus and go. You want to play 2 today? We'll play 2. You want to play 3? We can even play 3.
Well, Mark Johnson, he said he had no problem coming to Boulder with 5 hours on the bus because some of the conference games are even longer. And Gordon's pass got deflected and then saved out of bounds. Here come the Tigers. Gillen's going to finish it off with the left-handed layup and the foul.
I talk about a beautiful transition off a steal. Gillum with a great little left-handed dipper-do, take it right to the rim. How about Fort Hays? How do you like Fort Hays State? I mean, he's played well. Rob Davis, 19 all in the second half. But points in the paint, that's where Colorado has to excel. They are, but they've got to continue that and try to go back inside and see if they can get some easy scores.
Gillum not able to complete that three-point play, so it's a 13-point game. Getting into late in the second half. Gordon inside, Johnson, and we get a whistle and we get a foul. That is going to be on number 24, Peyton Stevens. And this is where Colorado's had a big advantage in this game, getting to the free throw line, because Tigers just don't have that interior defense. This will be free throw number 30 for the Buffaloes in the game, and Johnson no good on the first. Derek White's going to replace Akiazili.
And don't forget, Chris, Derek White without a field goal. So he's the, Pac-12 player of the week, and no feed. He's got 6 free throws, and to my recollection, hasn't done anything in terms of offensive production in the second half.
Every time he's had the ball, he's been trying to get his teammates involved. Davis already 5 threes, make it 6.
Wow, Rob Davis is putting on a show here in the second half, and he loves it. Look at him. I mean, he's ready to roll. He's rocking and rolling here in Boulder.
Even he had to smile after that one on his way down to play defense. Gordon, all kinds of space on Gillum, and able to finish inside with that left hand. So the offense picking up here a little bit, but it has been fun to see Rob Davis in the second half with his offensive eruption. And he's got 22 points. And he would have had more if we didn't get a whistle away from the ball as he's feeling it. He made that shot, but it's not going to count.
Yeah, they
may an offensive foul.
Right, they may get an illegal screen away from the ball, but they're looking for Davis now every time down the floor. Why not? So remember Gordon the last time, number 1, had that easy score, and after they screen and roll for him, and they may get an illegal screen there. You know, when you set a screen, this is one of my absolute pet peeves in basketball. The dribbler has to wait. He's going too fast. Now, Derek White has to wait until the screen is set before you come off. And Gordon can't move. He can't set your screen and just stay there. Instead of trying to make it quick all in one motion, you're going to get the call against you every time.
Davis fouled by Johnson, wheeling around, trying to get inside the lane. As all 22 points have come here in the second half, that foul on Johnson. And that'll put him at the free throw line.
Now, that's an interesting line right there. Take a look at that.
Contrast?
Yes, first half, let's see, I was 0 for 4 with 3 fouls. I didn't play much. Okay, well, in the second half, I guess I'll go for 22, 8 for 11. Look at now the guy's shooting 53% coming in from threes, and he's 6. I can't believe he missed a free throw. And he's 6 for 7. I cannot believe he missed that free throw.
That makes 2 of us. It just put him behind the three-point line. That's where he's been making all of his shots. Johnson triple team. Gordon wants to give it back to him. Johnson spins into the double team, and good defense that time by the Tigers. Here's Nicholson one-on-one with White. Pivots. Stevens, Smith, and that should be a travel. Jaquan Smith has just had himself a tough afternoon. Missed a dunk earlier, a couple of travel calls. Some missed opportunities.
No,
they've
had
a lot closer than 13.
You're right. They've had, I mean, it's been really Rob Davis on the outside in the second half, but that's a play Smith has to gather himself and keep one foot down. Let's see if Fortune can do it again. He did.
There is Josh Fortune. He's got the answer from the outside. That is his third 3 of the game. Exactly what Colorado wanted to see from Josh Fortune. They're going to really need him. Davis trying to get by White. One-on-one move, and he finishes off the glass.
I can tell you, Rob Davis is super impressive. that was not an easy play. There's the first field goal of the game for Derek White.
And for White, just his 4th shot. Davis again.
Are you serious or what? Are you kidding me? I mean, Davis is, what is he, 7 of 8 from three-point range? I mean, he's like, give it to Davis.
There he is. Davis one-on-one. No, you're going to give it to Smith, but that time he's not going to miss the dunk in a one-handed flush.
I thought that was very unselfish of Rob Davis. I thought he was going to stop and shoot a 3. But he gave it to Smith, who finally got one down.
And not that time for Fortune, and Smith able to rip down the rebound. 27 points, ties for the most that Colorado has given up by a single player all season long.
There's Davis. Oh, we're going to get a timeout. I thought they were going to set like a triple screen for him and get him open.
Why not?
Have to
keep.
Here's a great pass in the open court for the easy layup to Jaquan Smith. So this has been a fantastic second half for Rob Davis and Fort Hays State.
It's been the Rob Davis show. Wants to make a move, and that's going to be an offensive foul. As coming over to set that screen was Brady Worth, and he just leveled Deleon Brown. So 4:04 left to go. It's an 11-point game. Colorado has led throughout, but Rob Davis keeping the Tigers close here in the second half in what has been a fun show. As Derek White wants to post up Miller inside, and that ball gets kicked out of bounds by Kinnaman. 18. Final stretch here in Boulder, Colorado. It's cold on the outside, but Rob Davis hot on the inside. It's just an 11-point game, winding down.
Brought to you by University Credit Union.
USC later on tonight is going to host Troy, one of 2 unbeatens left in college basketball, along with UCLA. The Bruins right now in action against Ohio State in a CBS Classic. Here, 74-63, 3:46 to go in the second half. Colorado maintaining a double-digit lead in what is a monster day of college hoops.
Well, I think we all felt that UCLA at the start of the season was obviously going to be a very good team, but I don't think anybody felt that they would be where they are today. And I think the whole country woke up when they won in Lexington. When you beat Kentucky at Kentucky, let me just say this, this is no fluke. I mean, it's not a fluke when you win there. So this is probably as good a UCLA team that I can remember. I mean, I'm going back like maybe to the Westbrook, the Kevin Love days.
Yes, it's Ben Howland. It's certainly Steve Alford's best team.
And no, let's give some love to USC. I mean, I think the Trojans and Andy Enfield have done a great job, especially over the last couple of years. This is a very good USC team. And don't forget, USC, to my recollection, beat UCLA 3 times last year. Three times. Can't do that very often. So I think the Trojans are a team that you got to look for. They're undefeated, and so far, and probably, will go undefeated, don't you think, Chris, until they open up. And so
4 games remaining in non-conference play, and the Trojans will be favored in all 4 games. They're going to go to Vegas for a tournament right before Christmas. But tonight it'll be Troy and then Cornell. And both those Southern California teams playing some pretty good basketball and on a collision course.
Wow. Yeah, you bet they are.
And there's a little rivalry between those two.
I would think so.
In case you don't know.
Well, you can't, don't sleep on Arizona, of course. Arizona got a big win today at Texas A&M. That's a huge win for them. They played really great basketball to get that road win, and they're not healthy. Rob Davis again. You know what?
Keep it going, Rob.
Yeah, don't switch. Stay with us. It's a 9-point game with 2.5 to go. I mean, this game is not over yet.
Oh, and a cheap foul committed by Kinnaman. It's going to put one of the best free throw shooters in the entire conference on the free throw line in Josh Fortune for 1 and 1. And so Fortune, who is at 88%, it's a single-digit game with 2:43. Not for long, though. Fortune is good on that first free throw. Fortune, who came in struggling, has really been an answer offensively for Colorado today.
Well, he's been a big answer, along with Daleon Brown. They're the 2 guys that have really picked up the pace offensively. When Derek White, did not have a particularly good. He played well, and he was solid defensively and solid distributing the ball, but he didn't come up with the big numbers at the offensive end.
Here's Davis. Goes right, wants to drive on Seward. Scoop shot, in and out, no good.
Can't believe he missed one.
He should have taken a 3.
Well, yeah. And that's a good point, because Fort Hays State's probably going to go exclusive there. They're going to go the other way.
There's an offensive foul. Davis now on the defensive end, able to make a play.
Yeah, this is an easy call for the official. Let's get way beyond the arc there. You're not in the restraining circle. You're not moving, and you just get run over here. If you're Davis, he got right back up. I thought it's not easy for a small guy to go in there against a big man.
Not only that, but taking a charge this day and age with the restricted circle is really hard to do.
Difficult.
Davis has it, wants to step back. The jumper on the way, too strong. Tough shot over the 6'10" outstretched arm of Seward. So back-to-back misses by Davis. Coming up on 2 minutes to go. Peters, the give inside, but Miller can't slam it home. And how about Derek White able to track down that loose ball?
All right, let's get some patience and back it out a little bit if you're Colorado. This is a time, put some touches on the ball, give it to White. Well, there's a long jumper there. I'm a little surprised Peters on that, because Peters really hasn't shot very much in this game.
Davis wants to kick it out to O'Neal. He's been quiet all game long and continues to stay that way. Davis just needs to take every shot. Big fella Miller will get fouled with 1:19. Well, this Fort Hays State team is going to get a little something out of this trip here to Boulder and Denver. Trey O'Neal's dad was the high school coach for Ron Baker, of course, the player for Wichita State, who is now a member of the New York Knicks.
I think he was at Wichita State for 9 years.
It seemed that way,
seemed
right?
like that. So he seemed like every year Ron Baker was in, taking Wichita State to the Elite Eight. Great career, by the way. Which is another. You talked about programs that were not upper echelon. They were able to get good players and make the most of it. There's another one in Wichita State. They got a great run.
Has done a phenomenal job. Well, Ron Baker and his Knicks are playing the Denver Nuggets tonight in downtown Denver, so the Tigers squad is going to bust it over and head to that game tonight.
Way to go. Why not?
Why not?
Well, now I think if you're Fort Hays, well, you're going to get a foul there on Peters. Not a good one. But one thing you don't want to do now when you're sitting on a 13-point lead is the foul guys stop the clock. Tad Boyle not real thrilled with that call. I can tell you that. I would have a hunch that Peters is coming out.
Well, Mark Johnson already cleared out his bench. Rob Davis is on the floor. Peters is going to depart. Delion Smith is out. Or Delion Brown, excuse me.
Yeah, Peters just has to learn. And, he's a young guy. I think he's got great upside. If you're playing UCLA here and you've got a 1-point lead and you're sitting on a lead, or let's say a 5-point lead, you don't want to foul guys. You want to play good defense late in the game.
Well, with 69 seconds, both teams getting a little foul-oriented here. So Akizili to the free throw line. Colorado will continue its non-conference stretch, playing 3 games in 5 days, winding down the schedule. Colorado's got a tough stretch. Well, the next game will be up at Air Force.
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy one either. So, yeah, play at Air Force, and then they've got Eastern Washington here, and then they open the league.
With 3 consecutive road games. And then UCLA and USC here at the Coors Event Center. Crowd trying to get excited for a Repine possible 3. Didn't end up dropping. Holmes, no. And the tip, yes, by Reed.
Nice tip by Reed, wasn't it? From the outside position. So, Chris, this is going to go in the category of, well, we did win. We won the game. At times, we were impressive. But I think if you ask Tad Boyle, he, again, is going to give this team probably a C+. He's just saying, we're not there yet. We've got to play better. And we better play better in a hurry because the schedule is going to get a lot tougher. And we've got the Pac-12 looming closer. And the Pac-12 will be a bear this year and very difficult to win on the road.
Still trying to find that consistency. A Colorado team that has 2 wins over top 25 opponents. Today they're going to settle for a Division II win as Akizili gets fouled on his drive with 1.6 seconds left. Nobody wants to get out of here. So Akizili will go right back to the free throw line as Reed protecting the basket, and he went hard at Akizili. One final note about Davis. 29 points is a Coors Event Center record for a half.
I would think so.
Wow.
Right.
Well, these 3 were a big part of this Colorado offense. As Akizili no good, but we're going to get a foul. As these officials really making sure they call everything. Time now for our Barbasol Close Shave player of the game.
Well, it's Delion Brown, and I thought he came off the bench and really did a superb job. Made threes, drove to the middle, and was a catalyst for this team when they needed help. They got off to a quick start, but then kind of leveled off, and I thought Delion Brown really had a very nice overall game for Colorado.
Yeah, 15 points. He had 15 points combined over his last 7 games. So an unexpected contributor on offense for the Buffaloes. Wait, did they really just call a lane violation?
They may have. See, you thought this game would not end with 1.1 seconds.
They don't want it to end.
No, they want to keep it going.
Second free throw is good from Fort Hays State. So that'll do it. 81-71 the final score. Colorado with the win improves to 8-3 with 2 non-conference games remaining at Air Force and